Chosen ones often feel alone, without friends, and without deep relationships. This feeling of isolation is no accident. In fact, it's part of a much bigger process that occurs with those who awaken to spiritual reality and detach themselves from what the ordinary world offers. From the beginning, many of you wonder why you feel like you don't belong anywhere. Why it's so hard to find people who truly understand the depth of your thoughts and feelings. This disconnection occurs because you, the chosen ones, are tuned to a different frequency. While many follow societal norms and patterns, you see beyond appearances and the masks society imposes. The world often teaches us that we are only physical bodies, matter that will one day disappear. However, those who are chosen awaken to the truth that we are much more than that. You know that you are souls, spiritual beings having a human experience. And this awareness distances you from what is superficial and illusory. That's why being alone isn't a curse, but a blessing in disguise. You have learned that it's better to walk alone than to follow a crowd that doesn't know where it's going. Often, solitude is the necessary space for you to connect with yourselves, with your true essence. Away from distractions and external influences, you find clarity and understanding about who you really are. This separation from the common world may seem like a burden at first, but over time you realize that it is in solitude that many of the greatest spiritual insights emerge. You, chosen ones, are being prepared for a greater mission, and this journey requires you to distance yourselves from worldly distractions and energies that are not in harmony with inner truth. The truth is that chosen ones appreciate being alone. This time dedicated to themselves is what allows them to ground themselves, rediscover their inner peace, and strengthen themselves spiritually. While many feel uncomfortable in their own company, the chosen know that moments of introspection are crucial for their growth. So, don't feel pressured to follow what society defines as normal. Many don't understand why you prefer quiet, but that's because they are still trapped in the matrix that makes them believe that happiness is outside, in material things or in the approval of others. You are in a process of elevation, and this process requires separation. Not everyone can accompany you on this journey, and that's okay. Separation isn't the end, but the beginning of a deep transformation. The more you distance yourselves from distractions, the more you can hear the inner voice that guides you to your true mission. You who recognize yourselves as chosen ones often find it difficult to maintain friendships or relationships. This happens because the people around you may not be ready for the depth with which you live your experiences. Many are still trapped in superficial patterns, while you seek something more authentic, something more true. This search for truth, for a life in tune with spirituality, pushes away those who prefer to remain in the comfort of illusion. The world is full of people wearing masks. They hide their true feelings, desires, and dreams, conforming to what society expects of them. However, you cannot live this way. For the chosen, authenticity is a fundamental value. You refuse to follow the easy path, the one that doesn't resonate with the truth of your soul. This makes you seem lonely, but in reality, this loneliness is only temporary. You are in a process of purification, separating from what is false to align yourselves with what is true. This path may seem challenging, but remember, it takes courage to follow your own path. It takes strength to say no to external influences and stay true to who you really are. Many choose the easier path, the one of following the crowd, but you know that this path doesn't lead to true fulfillment. You have chosen the path of authenticity, the path of living according to your essence. Along this journey, it's common to feel that you have no friends or relationships that understand you. That's because society often prioritizes the superficial: status, wealth, appearance. But you seek something deeper, a genuine connection based on true values. Many around you have not yet awakened to this reality, and that's why you may feel isolated. However, know that this isolation is temporary. As you continue to walk your path, sooner or later, you will find your true tribe. Those who share the same vision, who understand the depth of your journey, and who walk beside you in spiritual resonance. It may take time, but when you meet these souls, you will realize that all the time spent in solitude was worth it. These connections are sacred, rare, and bring a depth that most never experience. The great spiritual masters throughout history also face this loneliness. They distanced themselves from the crowd to find enlightenment. Buddha meditated alone for years before reaching awakening. Jesus retreated to the desert to pray and reconnect with his mission. These masters understood that to find the truth, it was necessary to step away from the noise of the world. They knew that spiritual elevation required separation. Likewise, you are going through this process. This solitude is not a punishment, but a preparation. You are being shaped and strengthened for the mission you have in this world. And just like those masters, you will also emerge from this phase with a wisdom that few have. Solitude has taught you to be strong, to trust yourselves, to listen to the inner voice that guides every step. Additionally, solitude has given you something even more precious: time to know yourselves. Many go through their entire lives without really knowing themselves, but you, by stepping away from distractions and external noise, have the opportunity to delve into your own essence. You learn to hear your own truths, to trust your intuition, and to be guided by it. This process of self-knowledge is what empowers you to help others, to be true guides for those still lost in illusion. You, the chosen ones, may have noticed that you don't fit into the traditional molds of friendships or relationships that society often values. While most people are concerned with social approval, status, or the need to belong to a group, you know that these connections are often superficial and do not bring the true spiritual growth you seek. Society conditions us to believe that being surrounded by many people is a sign of a successful life. However, you have already realized that quantity never equals quality. Many around you use their friendships and relationships as a way to fill the inner void they carry. But you, as chosen ones, understand that no external relationship can fill what only the connection with oneself and the divine can offer. That's why often you prefer to be alone rather than involve yourselves in relationships that do not reflect the truth of who you are. As you walk along the journey of self-discovery and spiritual growth, you have realized that true friendship, true connection, can only happen when there is authenticity, when there are no masks. That's why you find it difficult to meet people who are at the same level of depth and also seek the truth, rather than settling for what is easy and superficial. This solitary path that you walk should not be seen as a burden, but as a rite of passage. Great transformations occur when you are willing to follow your own path without the need for external validation. And it is this solitude that strengthens you, that teaches you to trust yourselves, to believe in your mission, even when the world around you seems to disbelieve or not understand. You have been called to something greater, and that call requires preparation. Like many spiritual masters who came before you, this phase of isolation is a moment of purification, a moment of preparation for what is to come. During this period, you learn to recognize the energies around you and discern who truly deserves to be in your presence. You no longer allow just anyone access to your energetic field because you understand the value of protecting your peace and spirit. This distancing from people doesn't mean that you don't like company or that you don't want to connect with others. In fact, you long for a deep, authentic connection based on truth. However, you also know that these connections are rarely found among crowds. That's why you patiently wait for those who, like you, are on a spiritual journey, seeking something beyond appearances. And, like the spiritual masters, you also know that eventually you will find your true tribe. This group of like-minded souls may be scattered across the world, but the universe always finds a way to bring together those who are on the same mission. You may be in one corner of the planet, and your tribe in another, but at the right moment, these sacred connections will manifest, bringing a feeling of home and belonging. These connections will be different from any other you've ever had. They will be based on truth, authenticity, and unconditional love. There will be no need to pretend, to wear masks, because you will be surrounded by people who have also gone through the fire of transformation and who now shine with the light of truth. These friendships and relationships will be like a balm for the soul, because they will be rare and precious, based on the divine purpose that unites you. Until that moment comes, it's important that you continue to trust the process. You are being shaped for something greater, and this phase of solitude is a preparation for the mission you have in this world. Don't worry about appearing different or isolated. This is just a sign that you are on the right path, the path of truth and authenticity. This journey may seem lonely, but it is in it that the chosen ones find their strength. You are being trained to become spiritual masters, guides for others, those who help light the way for those still lost in the shadows of illusion. In the silence and solitude, you hear the voice of your own soul more clearly, and that voice leads you toward your true mission in this world. Society often sees loneliness as something negative, something that should be avoided at all costs. However, you know that solitude is, in fact, a sacred space. It is the place where you can reconnect with your essence, with the divine source that created you, and with the greater purpose for which you were called. While the world tries to distract people with entertainment, technology, and superficiality, you, chosen ones, prefer silence, introspection, and connection with the spiritual. This disconnection from worldly distractions allows you to see the world with more clarity. What appears to be reality for many is, for you, just a veil, an illusion. You can see beyond appearances, beyond the lies and deceptions that society perpetuates. And that is why often people around you do not understand your vision. They are trapped in the chains of the system, while you have already broken free or are in the process of liberation. The lack of friends or romantic relationships may seem like a burden, but remember, everything has its time. You are being prepared for something greater, and part of that preparation involves learning to love your own company. You are discovering that the most important relationship you can have is with yourselves. And as you deepen in this self-knowledge, you will realize that true love begins from within. When you connect with yourselves, you understand that you do not need external validation to feel complete. You are already complete by nature, because you are evolving spiritual beings. Society teaches that we need other people to feel valuable, but the chosen ones know that true value comes from within, from the connection with the divine. That is the true source of happiness and fulfillment. Gradually, you will also realize that loneliness is not permanent. As you deepen in your mission and purpose, you will meet people who share the same vision and are on the same path. These connections will be rare, but extremely powerful. They will be based on something much deeper than the superficial interests that unite most people. They will be soul connections, united by the common purpose of helping to uplift humanity. You are living in a time of great change. The world as we know it is going through a profound transformation, and you, the chosen ones, are at the forefront of this change. This means that often you need to be ahead of your time, anticipating the changes that are coming. That's why it's common for you to feel misunderstood by the people around you. They are still stuck in the old paradigm, while you have already begun to live the new. This disparity in perception can make you feel that you have no one with whom to share your ideas or visions. However, know that there are other souls scattered across the world who share the same mission. You may not see them now, but they exist, and at some point, your paths will cross. Until then, continue to trust in your journey. Many of the great spiritual leaders of the past went through periods of isolation before emerging as masters. They knew that true wisdom cannot be found in the noise of the crowd, but in the silence of introspection. Buddha withdrew to meditate under the Bodhi tree, where he reached enlightenment. Moses spent 40 years in the desert before returning to lead his people. Jesus spent 40 days and nights fasting and praying, preparing for his mission. These periods of solitude were crucial to their spiritual development, and the same applies to you. You are being called for something greater, and that call requires preparation. This preparation happens in solitude, where you can hear yourselves and the divine voice that guides you. By distancing yourselves from external distractions, you are able to see more clearly what you need to do, who you need to become, and how you can serve the world in a unique and authentic way. The solitude of the chosen ones is, therefore, a call to self-knowledge. It allows you to reconnect with your true nature and strengthen your relationship with spirituality. When you are alone, you are, in fact, in the presence of divine energy, feeling the power that flows through you. It is in this space of solitude that you can hear the whispers of the universe, receive the answers you are seeking, and discover the true purpose of your life. Many people around you may not understand this process. They may find it strange that you prefer solitude over the company of others, that you choose to meditate instead of participating in the parties and social activities that most consider important. But what these people don't understand is that, for the chosen ones, spiritual growth is the priority. You know that in order to fulfill your mission in this world, you need to be aligned with your essence, and that is only possible when you distance yourselves from the noise of the world. This temporary disconnection from the external world allows you to strengthen your internal connection. As you spend more time alone, you begin to realize that you're not truly alone. You are in communion with something much greater, something that transcends the limitations of time and space. Divine energy is always present, guiding you, protecting you, and preparing you for what is to come. Along this journey, you also start to develop a deeper understanding of the meaning of life. You realize that life isn't about material achievements, external success, or the approval of others. True fulfillment comes from within, from the connection with spirit, from alignment with the soul's purpose. And this understanding is what sets you apart from most people around you. That's why, many times, the chosen ones seem like they don't fit in. They are different because they live according to higher principles, guided by the truth of their essence. While most people are chasing temporary pleasures, you are in search of something eternal. You are not interested in following the masses or conforming to societal expectations. You are committed to your truth, and this makes you unique. This commitment to truth may push some people away. Many are not ready to deal with the depth and authenticity you bring. They prefer to live in superficiality, where they don't have to face life's big questions. You, on the other hand, are not afraid to dive into the deep waters of existence. You know that it's there that the most important answers lie, and you are willing to face any challenge to find them. However, this journey doesn't always need to be lonely. As you continue to walk toward your purpose, you will meet others who are also awakening to their truth. These encounters are not coincidences. They are orchestrated by the universe to help you on your mission. You will recognize these kindred souls by the resonance you feel around them. It will be a sense of reunion, as if you are finally coming home. These connections are precious and rare. When you find these fellow travelers, you will realize that all the loneliness you've faced up to now was worth it. These relationships will be based on authenticity, on a mutual understanding of who you truly are. You won't need to pretend, hide parts of yourselves, or conform to others' expectations. Finally, you will be able to be fully yourselves, without fear of judgment or rejection. Chosen ones, over time, realize that life is a series of cycles. There are moments when loneliness is necessary for transformation and growth, and there are moments when the company of other chosen ones brings strength and encouragement. Knowing how to navigate these cycles is one of the great skills you will develop along your journey. You will come to understand that everything has the right time to happen. When it's time to be alone, that solitude serves a purpose. And when it's time to connect with others, those connections will happen naturally, effortlessly, because they will be aligned with the flow of the universe. What sets you apart is the ability to perceive and accept that not everything needs to happen all at once. You know there is a time for sowing and a time for reaping. When you are in the phase of solitude, you are planting the seeds of self-knowledge, spiritual connection, and preparation for your mission. When the harvest phase arrives, you are ready to share the fruits of your growth with the world and with those who are ready to receive your light. The journey of the chosen ones is, in many ways, a journey of patience and faith. You know that you are being guided, and that everything that happens in your life has a greater purpose. The loneliness you are facing now is a preparation for something greater. It is the space where you strengthen your connection with the divine, refine your mission, and prepare to impact the world in a meaningful way. This patience and faith, which are such present characteristics in the journey of the chosen ones, become great allies along the way. You know that you are not alone, even when circumstances seem to suggest otherwise. The loneliness you experience is not a sign of defeat or that something is wrong. On the contrary, it is an opportunity for deep growth and preparation for the mission to which you have been called. You also learn throughout this journey that true strength does not come from how many people surround you, but from the ability to remain firm in your truth, even when everything around you seems to be falling apart. While many seek strength and external validation, you know that your strength comes from within, from the connection you have cultivated with the divine and your own soul. This is the true key to understanding why the chosen ones are often alone. It is not because they have been abandoned or forgotten, but because they are being prepared for something greater. Loneliness removes you from the distractions of the world, so that you can clearly hear the voice of inner wisdom. You are being molded to become spiritual masters, beacons of light in a world that is often immersed in darkness. And when this phase of preparation ends, you will realize that you were never truly alone. By connecting with your deepest essence, you connect with the universe itself. You align with the flow of life, with the divine energy that permeates everything around you. And when this alignment happens, you begin to attract people who are on the same frequency, people who share the same mission. These connections, although rare, will be extremely powerful. You will realize that you are surrounded by souls who, like you, have gone through periods of loneliness but are now ready to unite for something greater. These souls will be part of your spiritual tribe, a group of people who share the same values, the same truths, and the same purpose. Each encounter you have with these souls will be significant and transformative. There will be no need for words to explain what you are experiencing, as these people will have already gone through the same process. The understanding will be immediate and profound, and together you will form a community of awakened souls, united by the mission to bring more light into the world. The great spiritual masters who came before you also went through this process. They knew that to find their true mission, it was necessary to distance themselves from the crowd, seek solitude, silence, and introspection. And by doing so, they emerged as beacons of light for the world. They understood that solitude was just a phase of their journey, a phase that prepared them to become spiritual leaders. You, chosen ones, are following the same path. The loneliness you experience now is shaping your soul, strengthening your connection with the divine, and preparing you for the great mission you have in this world. You are being called to something grand, something that will require courage, faith, and perseverance. However, remember that this loneliness is not eternal. It is just one chapter of the journey. And as you continue to grow, to deepen in your mission, and to connect with your essence, you will attract the right people, those who are ready to walk alongside you. These encounters won't be forced, as they will be in resonance with the natural flow of the universe. At the right moment, you will understand that loneliness was a valuable teacher, teaching you the lessons you needed to learn in order to fulfill your purpose. You will know that true strength, true wisdom, and true love come from within, and that by cultivating this inner connection, you become capable of sharing that light with the world. The journey of the chosen ones, marked by moments of solitude, is a journey of transformation and elevation. Every step you take, no matter how challenging, brings you closer to your ultimate mission. You have been chosen to bring light to a world that often seems lost, to be spiritual guides, masters, and living examples of authenticity and truth. As you allow yourselves to embrace solitude, you find the freedom to be who you truly are without the need to fit in or please others. You understand that you were called to something greater, and this understanding gives you the strength to keep going, even when the path seems difficult. And so, over time, you will realize that you were never really alone. Loneliness was, in fact, an illusion, a preparation for you to connect with something much greater than you ever imagined. You have always been guided, protected, and supported by divine energy, and now you are ready to fulfill your mission. So, when the time comes, remember that you are masters in training. Every challenge, every moment of solitude, was part of the divine plan to shape you, to prepare you for what is to come. You are the chosen ones, the bearers of light, those who were called to help raise the consciousness of humanity. Finally, understand that being alone does not mean being without direction or purpose. The solitude of the chosen ones is a space of introspection, preparation, and strengthening. You are being molded to become spiritual leaders, those who will guide others through the darkness and help them awaken to their true nature. This path is not easy, but it is necessary. You are being prepared for something greater, and this preparation requires courage, patience, and above all, faith. Continue to trust the process, knowing that every step brings you closer to your ultimate mission. You, chosen ones, are the bearers of light, the ones who will bring a new consciousness to the world. And although this journey may seem lonely at times, know that you are never truly alone. The universe is with you, guiding you, protecting you, and preparing you for the great mission you have in this world. Be patient and trust that, at the right time, you will meet the souls who resonate with you. Together, you will form a community of light, ready to raise the consciousness of the planet and bring more love, truth, and compassion into the world. Now it is time for you to embrace your mission, knowing that solitude is only a temporary phase of a much larger process. You are ready to shine and fulfill the purpose for which you were called. If you felt this message in your heart, subscribe to the channel, share this video, and leave a comment below, affirming your strength and purpose. You are chosen, and the world needs the light you bring.